With the Hurricane Stadium series now in the rearview mirror, it's time to take a look back on that weekend and just what it meant for the Hurricanes and how far this organization has come and what it can mean for the organization hosting NHL events in the future.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And this episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. And don't forget to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes and myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis_96. And like I said, Stadium Series is now in the rear view mirror. And I want to take this episode to just take a look back on that weekend and what it meant for the organization. And first off, we're obviously supposed to have this game back in 2020. But pandemic happened and it just didn't happen. It got pushed back. And honestly, none of us were happy about that at the time. But I feel like it's fitting that it happened, that the Hurricanes got their first outdoor game in their 25th anniversary season. It just seems kind of poetic, and I like that. And the fact that they obviously won the game in dominant fashion, that's obviously great as well. And I know, we kind of criticize, the uniforms and whatnot, if they kind of look like they're from when the game was originally supposed to happen. And, that kind of is the case. I saw someone, kind of did a zoom in on the jerseys, and it wasn't that. It's not True Green. That's like the grass company, but like the green something or another that Adidas does with the jerseys. The ones they're wearing don't have it at the game, and it was clearly, they're just sitting in a warehouse waiting, which I get it, but that aside, I feel this was putting the rest of the hockey world on notice, because for so long we've talked about it. I've mentioned it on the national show. I believe I mentioned in yesterday's episode that this was a sold out game. It sold out faster than any other outdoor game. And it wasn't like it was predominantly Capitals fans. Obviously, they were there. And that's fine. But it was a lot of Hurricanes fans there. And I feel this kind of showed that, no, the franchise doesn't need to relocate to Quebec or Houston or wherever. They do, in fact, have more than 10 fans. And, this kind of showed that, hey, this team wasn't just a flash in the pan for a couple years. Like, no, they're consistently really good and consistently in the mix for a Stanley Cup. And, I feel that, it's a testament to what management has done in the front office. Tom Dundon, Don Waddell, everyone else involved, Rod Brind'amour, that they can host something like this. You look back at the draft in 2004. Okay, your arena had just been open for a couple years at that point. Okay, kind of figure you're going to do something like that. 2011 All-Star game. It okay. And then now, being able to host this was big. And shortly before I sat down to record, ESPN put out some stats on this game, and it averaged 1.1 total viewers and is the most viewed edition of the Stadium Series since the 2019 Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game. It was up 79% from last year's Stadium Series of Tampa Bay and Nashville, and up 13% from 2020 Stadium Series between LA and Colorado. Viewership of the game peaked at 1.5 million total viewers and is the second most viewed game of the season across all networks. And as no surprise, this year's Stadium Series was the most watched regular season game of all time in the Raleigh market. So, they drew and they outdrew, you know, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They outdrew Los Angeles. Uh, they outdrew so many other teams, and it's great. It really is shows that hey, there is a market for this team, and yeah, they're a smaller market, but I don't mean anything. And you go to games now. 10 years ago, quite a few empty seats. Now, good luck. And it's a testament just how much this team has grown to be able to have such a successful event like this. And that's the thing, it wasn't like it was just there. I know we've all been kind of critical of the NHL's marketing of it, and that is what it is. But the team itself, they went all out, and there was the Fan Fest downtown on Friday night ahead of the game, and a whole bunch of food trucks, concerts, booths, everything going on out there. It was really, really fun. They went all out with that, and then obviously the game itself. I know the main issue was parking. At least from what I saw, kind of what I gathered was folks getting in being the big issue. And Tom Dundon said in a radio interview yesterday that would be one of the first things that get addressed once renovations get started, which I think is long overdue, obviously renovations. But you think when that stuff was built 20 some odd years ago, at least that's just PNC Arena. When that stuff was built, it was kind of planned around then. And now it's definitely the way the city itself has grown. Yeah, that definitely is something that needs to be addressed. And I think come next time the Hurricanes host something, whether it's an outdoor game, draft, all-star game, Stanley Cup final, whatever. Well, if they host Stanley Cup this year, you're going to be dealing with the same thing, but it won't be as bad. But that's something that's going to be addressed. And I think that from what I heard last night on the radio broadcast, who was it? It was one of the executive vice presidents of the NHL, the one who's over those events, overall being extremely pleased, and the main thing being the parking. And that's not something that necessarily falls to the Hurricanes. That's just kind of something that just needs to be worked out better next time. And if that's, and one thing with that, everyone's in their seat by game time, or everyone's in Carter Finley by game time, which is good. It's not like it was back the LA Colorado one where people were just getting to their seats in like the second intermission. It's not like that, which is really good. And the Hurricanes knocked it out of the park. A few things here and there, but I feel that going forward, the Hurricanes definitely have their name in the hat for hosting more events like this. I could see another outdoor game around at some point coming back to Raleigh. I could see a draft, all-star game. I could see all that stuff, and we'll talk more about what and how the Hurricanes can get another event like that right after this quick break, folks. Now, the Hurricanes, they're not playing again till Friday, and they're playing against Ottawa. They're playing against Anaheim on Saturday. If you're wanting to place bets on either of those, FanDuel is, of course, the place to go. And we're also at the midway point of the NBA season. And now is the perfect time to download the FanDuel app, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win, whatever it is. Whether it's who scores the first bucket of a basketball game, who scores the first goal of a hockey game. FanDuel has you covered. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scores and threes drained. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same game parlay. So don't miss your chance to get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to fanduel.com/locked on. That's fanduel.com/locked on to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, getting back to the Hurricanes, they for the most part knocked it out of the park with the Stadium Series. Now, looking ahead, obviously we gotta get to the rest of the season. I don't see them, hosting anything in like the immediate future. Obviously, next year's Stadium Series is in Seattle. I'm not sure where next year's All-Star games and drafts are, but it's not going to be in Raleigh. And that's fine. I think, you know, between now and next week, yeah, you could see the Hurricanes maybe playing in another outdoor game. I don't think, they'll be hosting, but I think, they could be a, visiting team for sure. And I think that once the renovations begin, we already touched on how the parking will be one of the first things addressed. I think that once everything is all said and done, we will see another draft or another all-star game here in Raleigh. I think it's obviously going to be a while for that, and I imagine all the renovations won't get done in just one off season, and I think that it'll be thinking like, all right, this time we're going to focus on ABC. Next off season, I forgot my alphabet, DEF, but it's it's not gonna be stuff that's kind of done in like one off season or 1 year or something like that. I've seen folks be like, oh moving to Greensboro, while moving back to Greensboro while they do that. I don't see that happening. No, they're not gonna do that. Absolutely not. And because if you go back to the early days of the franchise, didn't go over well. It'd be one thing if it was like 30 minutes away or something like that. It's not. It's like an hour, hour and a half, depending on the traffic. So that's not going to happen. And I think that once everything is said and done, parking is addressed, arena is renovated, updated, all that stuff. I 100% see the Hurricanes hosting another event. And we talked about it before. It's not just right there. It's not just the arena that's getting redeveloped. It's the entire surrounding area getting built up. Bars, restaurants, hotels, everything, getting built up, and things to do over there. And I think that's going to be big. That's going to be a big selling point of with that. Be like, hey, we got all this stuff going on around. 'Cause I think it's like one or two hotels like right there in the immediate vicinity of the arena. I know a lot of visiting teams like stay at the Renaissance over in North Hills, but you figure once they get that developed and whatnot over there, they may just be staying over there now. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But they're the renovations are long overdue. And not that the arena is falling apart or anything. We've talked about this in the past, but it looks dated. And the way the Hurricanes knocked it out of the park with the Stadium Series, once it's done, I would say it's almost a guarantee that they'll be hosting again. And I do think that several years from now, I wouldn't say be within the next 5 years or anything like that. It'd be past that. The Hurricanes hosting another outdoor game. I do see that being in the cards again because of how well they did this, and they're gonna have a new scoreboard there at Carter Finley. That was a big complaint that a lot of people had was the scoreboard there yet being smaller. I know for me personally, an issue that I had was some of the panels there were bad, and you could tell, and it wasn't just like one; it was several were bad, and it wasn't a good look for NC State, for the NHL, for the Hurricanes. Guys behind me said they probably ain't showing that on TV, and I highly doubt it because again, it looked rough, and now that Stadium Series was the last event, well, major event. Yeah, we'll talk more about some more stuff in a bit. The last like big event there because now they're gonna be replacing it and putting a bigger one, putting a nicer one in. And I do realize that that was something that was supposed to happen ahead of the original Stadium Series date, but due to the pandemic, didn't happen. I hate that they weren't able to get that new scoreboard in before, and that's just kind of we're coming out of a global pandemic. Stuff ain't gonna always happen just right. But my main issue was they didn't replace the stuff on there. Like, all right, you can't replace the whole thing. Can you at least make sure it works properly and it looks good? But it's neither here nor there. That's not on the Hurricanes. That's not on the NHL. It's more on NC State. And you know, they for the most part, did everything really well of having all their stuff. And I do think that once everything there is updated and where they want it to be, I do think that the Hurricanes could very well host another game there. I really and truly do. And it's not out. I mean, other teams have hosted outdoor games in the same venue multiple times. So again, I think years down the road, I do think it would be a possibility for the Hurricanes to host another because again, they did really well. And it not only did the Hurricanes draw 57,000 people, another the day after, your alumni game and your NC State UNC hockey game, and those also did really, really well. I misspoke. Not the day after. The day after was the basketball game where NC State beat UNC. So you love that. And then Monday was the alumni game in Frozen Finley. Uh, and the fact that those drew as much as they did, like an alumni game had that many people. I don't know the exact count on that one, but I know the college hockey game. Keep in mind, this is club hockey. This is not NCAA level hockey. Drew between 25 and 26,000 fans as club hockey. It's the second most attended. I could actually pull up the thing because NC State posted a thing about just how much it drew. But like I said, it was obviously the Stadium Series is the most attended game in Hurricane or in North Carolina hockey history. And then Frozen Finley is right behind it in second place for most attended hockey game in North Carolina history. And so, 26,000 plus is the largest crowd in ACHA history, highest attended non football event at NC State this year. Top 15 highest attended college hockey game ever, second highest attended hockey game in North Carolina history. This is club hockey. And the fact that they had that, I know some people are like, oh, it's free. Like you still had to pay for parking. And again, this is club hockey. It's not it's not NCAA hockey. I think now the universities are going to be looking at and the ACC is going to be looking at these clubs, but maybe we should be moving them up to the NCAA level. But that alumni game, that Frozen Philly, that does not happen without the Hurricanes being as successful as they are. And I think that that's a testament to just how far the organization has come. It really, really is. And because without that, you don't have these programs, these college programs here that are successful as they are, because take that game out of it. NC State has been ready, just product on the ice wise, for a while now. They've been ready to make the jump up. They already average more in attendance than some of the universities' NCAA programs. They've been ready, and I think that's going to be a big thing, an eye-opening thing for the universities, for NC State, for UNC, maybe some of the others as well. But that's neither here nor there. We have no say in that at all. And I think it's past time, but again, that doesn't happen without the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes turning things around, being successful as they are, because so many of those kids in those programs are from the area, and they grew up watching the Hurricanes, going to Hurricanes games, and you know, we'll talk more about the alumni here, just in like the 25th anniversary stuff here in a second, but the fact that now the Hurricanes are good, they're drawing these crowds. These other people are seeing, hey, they're drawing in these new fans. They're like, oh, hey, we got these college programs. We got NC State. We got a UNC one. We got a Duke one. ECU has one. UNC Wilmington has one. App State has one. Like, we got all these other programs. Then you look at the Checkers in Charlotte in the AHL, the Thunderbirds in the FPHL, the Marksmen in the SPHL. Like, uh, these other programs and organizations that are growing, you could look to the Hurricanes with that. And this stadium series is kind of like a culmination of all that. Like, this organization has come a long way in just growing the sport. I looked to my dad, during the game. Obviously, when the Hurricanes came, here, outdoor hockey wasn't a thing. But even 10 years ago, he said, he never could have imagined, the Hurricanes hosting something like this. Or just being a part of it, let alone hosting. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. It was a once in a lifetime experience for me as a fan, and to experience it, with my dad. Who our first game together. I think it was like Colorado they were playing. I'm not sure, but it was still called Raleigh Entertainment and Sports Arena. It wasn't even RBC Center yet, let alone PNC Arena. And then, we've been to games, when it was Raleigh Entertainment and Sports, when it was RBC, when it was PNC, or obviously it's still PNC, and then at Carter Finley Stadium. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I'm extremely thankful for that. And again, it's a testament just how far this organization has come. But, we did get to hear from some alumni as well this over the stadium series, and we'll talk about that right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, we did I kind of given my thoughts a lot on the stadium series, and I'm only going to read a little bit of this. I'm not going to go through all of it, but yeah, obviously, again, the alumni game was on Monday, and gosh, so many guys from the '06 Cub team were on it. And also the fact, we got to address it real quick, the fact that Don Waddell, the general manager and president of the team, suited up out there in that game and scored a goal. what other GM does that? You know, that picture of him all suited up out there is great. It's great. I'm gonna use that picture for any Don Waddell audio clip I ever have now too. But yeah, it's crazy just to think of how far this organization has come. And some other guy, some alumni said as well. Mike Commodore, he said, I was sitting there and I was like, man, I wish I was playing in this game. I thought the experience was so cool. It seemed like everyone was having a good time, and I was impressed by the turnout, the tailgating, the parking lots, and all of that. And yeah, like they showed out. Like I said, the fans showed out for that game, and you could tell like they wanted this. Like they were like you already knew Raleigh and the Hurricanes fans were very passionate about the team. This just took it to like a whole nother level. It really did. Like, yeah, there's the murals all around town. You go to the games, like people are like tailgating at like 10 in the morning, like on a normal Saturday game. But it's crazy to think about just how it I keep sitting here in silence because I don't know how to describe it. It makes you feel like really warm inside of just like, all right, this team, like these fans, they give a crap about their team. It's not, one of those things of, you know, they're just they go for just like as a thing to do, like in like some of like the really larger markets, like people just go to go. Like people go to see the team and see them play and see them win. They care. And I I think for a lot of people, one thing was that alumni game that I know got me in my feelings a little bit was seeing Cam Ward suit up like as a goalie again, and that was really cool. He was in, I imagine his last Hurricanes jersey. It was the black alternate, the old school. It had the 100th anniversary patch on the side. Uh, but man, that was cool. That was cool. That was probably one of the coolest things this weekend. I know that's like from a sentimental reason, but for so many of these alumni guys to be here for this. Obviously, Justin Williams still with the organization, but he was there as well. Mike Commodore, Aaron Ward, Cam Ward, Eric Cole. These guys that you know were here, early on in the franchise, and all those guys won a cup here as well. For them to see, just I know Justin, saw it, but to really see like how much this organization has grown since their playing days, it's really cool. And obviously the innovation, those guys got at the game itself, it's great. I know obviously like Caps fans may not have known who they were, but all the Hurricanes fans knew exactly who every single one of them was. Obviously, Cam and Justin, kind of got the biggest cheers. Eric Cole got a really decent one as well. I mean, everyone got really big cheers, but got Cam Ward and Justin Williams. Hey, if there was a roof, it would have been blown off. But I think that the Hurricanes are definitely going to host an event again, and it's going to be very interesting to see just what it is, how they go about it, when it is. Again, I'm going to put money on whenever the arena renovations are done, an all-star game and or a draft will be in Raleigh again. once, again, several years down the road, I could see an outdoor game again. I can 100% see that. And it'll be a grand old time whenever it comes. Any of these events, and heck, just just even a regular game. Friday night against Ottawa, Saturday against Anaheim. Those are going to be great too. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing just the Hurricanes continue to grow. And this was a real statement to just how far this team has come, and the fact that at the end of the day, all those years ago, moving the team here, it's the right move. Yeah. And is they have gone through some highs and some lows. You guys, I know, have seen it, blow up. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw my tweet about Jordan Saw, that video of him just kind of taking it all in. It's been through a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and it's nice, for him to be rewarded in that way. And okay, a lot of that stuff doesn't happen without those guys that we talked about that were there, those alumni that were there. But so it doesn't happen without the guy behind the bench, Rod Brind'amour. He's been here for over 20 years now in some form or fashion, whether it's it's player, front office, assistant coach, head coach. I mean, this doesn't happen without him. It doesn't. It doesn't happen without Justin Williams, Cam Ward, Eric Stahl, Jordan Stahl, Sebastian Aho, Andre Svechnikov, Jordan Martinook. I mean, Freddie Anderson, like Alex Delkovich, Peter Mrazek. I mean, just the guy, the list goes on and on and on of these guys that have been a part of this team and getting them back to prominence. And again, that '06 Cup, those guys, live on forever. For in Raleigh, they'll always drink for free no matter where they go. But yeah, this was a big testament to just how far this organization has come, and I was it was once in a lifetime. I don't know how to describe it. I'm so glad I was able to be a part of it. And if you were there, I know a lot of you guys were. Yeah, send pictures my way, tag me in it on Twitter. Make sure at Jared Ellis _96. You're following me there. The show at Jared Ellis or at LO_Hurricanes, and subscribe to the show on YouTube as well. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode whenever we recap last night's game against St. Louis. And I take some medicine. Let's go, Canes.